You are looking at a dangerous escape from North Korea. Welcome back, Charlie here. North Korea is the most brutal country in the world. It's illegal to film inside without government permission. But today you're about to see some videos people sneaked out of the Hermit Kingdom. From an American arrested inside North Korea, to corrupt North Korean soldiers caught on camera. First, we have to look at video of the horrible lives of female North Korean soldiers. Everyone in North Korea has a very hard and tough life, but I think it's safe to say North Korea's female army have it the worst. In 2021, someone secretly recorded the harsh daily life of female North Korean soldiers. They were caught on camera putting up wire fences, all to stop people from escaping. The scary part is, these are teenage girls. They're forced to join the military, and soon become manual labor workers for the party, basically turning into Kim Jong-un's personal slave force. Female soldiers are also forced to do farm work every day, and if they don't finish their quota, their entire group gets punished and beaten. They still have no modern transportation, so people have to manually carry things. They're cramped in tiny rooms, which are watched over by male guards at all times. All they have to eat are raw radishes and rice. They can't even imagine a basic snack like a sandwich or an apple. It's also illegal for them to eat these farm products, so they have to make sure that no guards are watching. They also have to chop firewood all day. They're not even allowed to walk as individuals. They all have to march in big groups even when they go to lunch. Female soldiers in North Korea suffer so much hunger and stress that many of them actually stop having their periods. Nearly 30 female soldiers have to be cramped inside one bedroom, and they sleep on mattresses made of bags of rice. There's no running water, so they have to wash outside in streams, meaning they have to bathe with frogs and snakes. A recent study also found female North Korean soldiers get abused. This is by their very own male military commanders. You may think, why not just leave? But sadly, these women have no choice. In North Korea, everyone has to do military service. And the crazy part is, they're not even paid. They have to do this for free. All this while Kim Jong-un has yachts, cars and mansions, and spends billions every year on missiles. Moving on, we have to look at this prison escape. You are watching a North Korean man escape from a Chinese prison. He scaled a building and then climbed over a fence. The North Korean man then went on the run for 41 days, but was then found by police inside a house near a lake. The man is named Zhu Zhangjie. He had been serving an 11-year sentence in China for escaping North Korea. He only had 2 years left of his sentence, so why did he try and escape? Well, you see, he actually escaped to get even more time in Chinese prison. That's because once his time in Chinese prison runs out, he will be deported to North Korea. And of course, if that happened, he would have been executed. That's because the punishment for escaping North Korea is execution. This guy would rather stay a prisoner in China forever than ever go back to North Korea. That just goes to show what a brutal country North Korea really is. Next, we have to look at North Korea's extreme military. The North Korean army recently put on a show of force. They did some insane martial arts to show how tough they really are. This involved the soldiers hitting their hands with hammers and breaking many slabs of concrete. Concrete was also broken on soldiers' abs, and bricks were broken on their heads. They also bent metal rods with their necks, and even broke out of metal chains. One soldier even laid down in broken glass, and then had concrete broken over himself. They also did lots of acrobatic flips over cars and obstacles. All this while Kim Jong-un and his cronies watched. They did this to scare their enemies. North Korea's army is often mocked for being weak, but clearly these martial arts experts are very dangerous. However, they may not be that useful in a combat situation. In a real war, soldiers don't really use martial arts, instead opting for bullets, grenades and missiles. It's hard to tell how much of this is real military training, and how much is merely propaganda. But with that being said, I can't even imagine how much pain these soldiers had to go through, all to please their evil leader. Watching this sure is scary, but if it really came down to it, these guys would be no match for a Predator drone. Moving on, we have to look at this swimming escape. In 2021, a North Korean man made a daring escape. He was caught on camera crossing the demilitarized zone, one of the most heavily guarded areas on Earth. Amazingly, he went undetected for hours. He was wearing a diving suit and fins. He then swam for 6 hours, and finally crawled through a tunnel to come ashore in South Korea. He triggered many alarms and appeared on surveillance cameras many times, but the man was not noticed until 3 hours after he escaped. It's amazing how he survived 6 hours in ice-cold water, but thankfully he made it into South Korea and is now safe. Unlike China, South Korea do not deport North Korean defectors, meaning this brave man can now start his new life in the South. Next, we have to look at this arrested American. This man went to North Korea to get arrested on purpose. This man from the USA is named Matthew Miller. In 2014, he traveled to North Korea with the intention of getting arrested and going to jail. He tore up his visa, meaning he couldn't leave, and because of this was arrested by North Korean police. In court, Matthew was sentenced to 6 years of hard labor. But that's when Matthew revealed this had been his plan all along. He'd heard about how bad North Korean prisons were, and wanted to see if this was true with his own eyes. He also wanted to show the world the injustices the North Korean people have to face. After 212 days in a North Korean prison camp, he was finally released. But do you think this guy is brave or foolish? Some said what he did was very commendable, while others said risking his life like this was incredibly stupid. The footage of him sitting in North Korean prisons really is scary, and I can only imagine the terrible treatment he experienced inside the North Korean prison camp. Moving on, we have to look at the case of Otto Warmbier. This American student is pleading for his life in North Korea. But 2 years after this video was filmed, he would be dead. Otto Warmbier was a 22-year-old American college student. In 2015, he took a trip to North Korea, but on New Year's Eve night, he snuck into the staff-only area of his hotel. He then allegedly took a propaganda poster as a cool souvenir. This surveillance video is allegedly him doing that. A few days later, when he was at the airport about to leave, he was approached by 2 guards. They arrested Otto and took him away. He was then taken to a bizarre press conference. He was forced to confess to his crimes and plead for his life. He was sentenced to 15 years of hard labor and spent 1.5 years in a North Korean prison. That was until the US government made a deal to get him freed. But as soon as he was freed, the North Korean government said he was ill. Otto was picked up by plane and taken back to the USA, but a few days later passed away in hospital. Many experts and even the president blamed North Korea for Otto's passing. Otto might have stolen a poster, but North Korea stole his life. Moving on, we have to look at smugglers. These people are not leaving North Korea. Instead, they're North Koreans going from China back into North Korea. But why are they doing this? Well, these guys are actually smugglers. There are many products that North Korea simply does not have, either because they can't afford them or they're simply illegal. These smugglers make their money by secretly leaving to go to China, and then sneaking back into North Korea with these goods. They then sell them to people in North Korea. The footage even shows an armed soldier who's been paid to cover their tracks. Many North Korean soldiers are very poor, and that's why they often do accept bribes. Bribing border guards is actually the most common way people escape from North Korea. Finally, we have to look at this soldier escape. This North Korean soldier barely escaped the country. He made a desperate escape over the border into South Korea. He raced a military vehicle down the road and was chased by other North Korean soldiers. He then crashed into a tree and had to make a run for it. The soldiers chasing him opened fire, but thankfully the soldier makes it into South Korea. South Korean soldiers then crawl to where the man's lying and gradually pull him into safety. The fact that people risk their lives to try and leave North Korea shows how bad it really is living there. And watching these videos really makes me feel lucky to live where I live today. But now it's time for you to make your voice heard. Comment below which of these videos was the most scary. If you want to see my shorts videos, then check out my second channel. I've been Charlie, thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. And if you haven't already, then what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.